All right, I'm live. I'm gonna try not to rock the table too much, but how's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing great and had a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year. I've got my new spectacles on, so I'm gonna try to get you lined up so I can actually see who's on my laptop. I got a little bit different backdrop here. This is like my shelf that has some Civil War stuff, a statue, generally my great great grandparents right here, some Native American stuff. Because if you know me well, you know I love my Native American artifacts. So I've got some of the points and stuff that I've collected right in here. Some of my other stuff, my collections, and then I have some NASCAR stuff down on the bottom that actually you might be interested in seeing. But hey there, Tom, and I believe Rachel and Terry. Yep, Rachel's in. Hey, Happy New Year 2019 to y'all too, and to all the NASCAR fans and the Ford Performance fans, the Roush Yates engines. We are getting geared up for the new year and ready to go, ready to win another championship, hopefully. That is the goal every year. But first, we have to start off with the big race, which is the Daytona 500. And that's the one that we're working on right now. So I've got the heat lamp going again. I got to figure that out. Figure out how to get a fan on me. I don't have any fans in here. They're all out in my shop. But anyway, we are going to get rolling here. So don't forget to hit subscribe. That way you can stay tuned for all the future videos and hit the bell notification. That way whenever I go live, you'll get a notification saying that I'm going live. Or what I try to do is schedule these lives a little bit further ahead of time. Tonight I only did it an hour ahead of time, and Rachel posted on Facebook earlier, and Terry was sharing it, and trying to get the word out, and I wasn't quite as prepared. This is my first time for 2019 doing this, and the beer man's not here. He's still down in Florida on a boat somewhere. I doubt he's even going to tune in tonight. He's probably out there drinking a beer on the water somewhere. Probably a Coors Light, if I had to guess. So let's see here. Let me see if I can get it up to where I can actually see what questions y'all might have. But first, while the computer's getting going here, I will show you a couple of the things that I have. Let's see. First of all, here's my sign. I like to keep this as my reminder from last year. As you can see, who's in the top spot, who's on the podium there. That was Mr. Joey Logano. And if you saw my thumbnail for this video, I probably could have had this stuff pulled out already. But here's some of my old things. This is from way back in the Nemechek days. This was from 3 polls we had that year with Nemechek. At least 3, because Nemechek, if you don't remember, he used to be Front Row Joe. So every, about 97, 98, 99, I was actually fortunate enough to build qualifying engines for him. And he always had a way of qualifying very well. And then here's just a little coin I had got Biffle to sign, along with, I don't know if y'all know by now, but I've got 11 rings and I've got 1 on the way. And here's an old piston. Oh, I had Joey sign this piston last year. He signed it. Joey Logano, number 22. Top secret. Just kidding. Good stuff. So, all right, well, I'm looking for my live so I can see what's going on. So I can, and I can't get text messages because I actually have this going on my phone. But I can see, yes, Joey did an awesome job. And let's see here. You know what I'm going to have to do? Switch accounts, and then I'll be able to see my live going on. So y'all get your questions ready, and I'll be answering them to the best of my abilities. There may be some that I won't be able to answer if they're too top secret. But I guess I can tell you a little bit of what I've been up to. All winter I've been finishing up a car that I was working on, and I know some of you don't like the fact that it was a Chevrolet, but it was for a customer, and it's basically how I was able to get lights in my shop and electrical boxes, all that stuff was taken care of because I did that job. So pretty happy about finishing that up. That way I can continue on to something else, get back into my Ford tractors and get those Ford tractors rolling. And I got some new spectacles here. They're like progressive lenses. You can see my eye getting bigger and smaller. A little bit of progressive lenses because since I had my eye surgery and my right eye sees, it's like a telescope eye, but my left eye doesn't see as good distance wise, but it sees good up close. But I got tired of having to do this all the time when I wanted to see something because this one's blurry. So I got these. It works pretty good, I guess. But then sometimes I get the whole dizzy stuff again going, like my pirate, arr, Captain Jack. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got going on for questions. Tom Robinson says, I'm expecting a total dominance again from RYE this year. I hope the new Mustang body does as well. He said as well. What is your thoughts, David, on both? I think that, first of all, being Ford and how good we are in the restrictor plate program, I think going in, we'll have an advantage on that part. And as far as having the new Mustang, you know, we've been running that Mustang with the Xfinity series for several years now. So I think we're pretty well prepared. So I see this season being carrying over from last year because I don't think we gave up any this winter. We certainly didn't lay down and say, you know what, we're the champions. We can kick back and relax. No, it don't work that way. Not in NASCAR, because as soon as you lay down, there comes the other teams back knocking on your back door. And I guarantee you, Toyota has thrown all the money they have into their program. And another thing I can guarantee you, that Hendricks, as bad as they've been running the past couple years, I bet you they went to work this winter. So we definitely could not, you know, take a break and back down. We did take the week off for Christmas, but you know what? That allowed us to come back full force and ready to go, ready to get some work done. And that's what we did. I actually was spending a good bit of time over in our machine shop this year. I don't know if y'all have heard about Roushier's machine shop. I was more than impressed, to say the least, because the stuff that them guys put out over there, they put out quality work, they work hard. We got a bunch of Haas machines going on, go figure, Haas, you know. And man, it's just an impressive place. They got the floors all shined up. As everybody always says when they come in our shop now, they say, that floor's so shiny I could eat off the floors, which never tried that. I mean, that's what they make plates for. But anyway, it is clean. Our shop stays clean. We got a floor scrubber that runs pretty much all the time. Yeah, so anyway, that's top-notch place, top-notch facility. You know, the thing is, if you're going to win races, if you're going to do a good job, you have to make sure that every job does a good job, because it's a combination of everybody in that place, from the person that cleans the floors to, you know, till the person that pushes the engine out the door and delivers it. That's from start to finish. You do a good job and it shows on the racetrack. You know, and that's that way with everything in life. I try to tell these young kids these days, it don't matter if you have to go, you know, wash dishes at a restaurant. You make sure your dishes are cleaner than anybody that's ever done them in front of you before. And that'll take you a long way in life. Okay, enough of that talking. I'm going to show you one more thing too while I'm at it. I got a new ring so far for the Brickyard 400 that we won this year. And we're going to be getting championship rings coming up soon. But hold on one sec. All right, here it is in our little special box. Straight from Justin's. Pretty proud of this ring right here because this is one that I have never gotten before. Look at that. Hopefully you can see focus and with the lighting. All right, Brickyard, and voila. So for the Brickyard 400, 2018, and Brad Keselowski won. That's the ring we got. And then we'll get us a championship ring for Joey Logano. Thank you, Linda. Thanks. And so, pretty excited about that. First time, and I remember when Robert Yates Racing won in 1999. I was there, and I was also there in 1996 when they won. So those guys always travel with us. Thank you, Terry, for congratulations. Those guys always travel with us when they would get on the bus. So in 1996, the Brickyard 400, I was with Kyle Petty. I was a jackman for Kyle, and he hit the wall pretty hard running in second place and broke his leg, and we had to take the car home on a rollback. But before that was kind of near the beginning of the race, so I spent the rest of the race walking around in the museum there at Indianapolis. And if you've never been to that place, oh my gosh, there's so much in that museum. It's crazy. And then the track is just incredible. They would actually, instead of hanging a pit wall banner on the pit wall, they would paint the drivers' names and the number on the pit wall. And it was a pretty tall pit wall too, so whenever I had to jump off of it, it was just, but just an awesome place. You know, so many people packed in there back in the day. But I didn't have any money to go to the museum, so what I had to do, I had 2 of these race day shirts from Savco, Team Savco. At the time, it went from Savco Racing to Team Savco, owned by Felix Sabatis. And I had a red race day shirt. I had 2 of those. And the lady working at the desk, her name was Donna Stroud, in Indianapolis gift shop. And I said, hey, I don't have any money to get in here. And she said, well, I like that shirt you got on. I said, well, I like that shirt you got on because I wanted a shirt. And oh, that's what it was. I wanted to buy a shirt. I didn't have any money. I think they were going to let me in the museum anyway. So she went and changed. How do we do that? We swapped shirts somehow. Not at the same time. I promise you that. Oh, I had extra shirt in my bag. So I just went in, changed my shirt, got her t-shirt. Good to go. And I don't know where the shirt's at now. I try to keep all my race shirts. I've got them in a box, probably in the attic. Okay, here we go. Let's get to the questions. I haven't even had any caffeine in hours. Can you tell? Not. Okay, so hey y'all, Rachel Rodman. Always, yes sir, Super Jason, woohoo. All right, Tom says, I'm here, Elvis. How's everyone? We're all doing great. And I guess you probably saw that I got to be the Hamburglar at the McDonald's. I got to play my harmonica. Too bad I don't have it with me right now, but got to play my harmonica this Saturday for all the little kids and some of the parents. I think they enjoyed it too, but it's pretty cool whenever you see the kids hiding behind mom and dad, and then I'm like, you know, hey, you want to hear my harmonica? And then they kind of sneak out, and then I start playing it. And then they're just like, ah. So anyway, they ended up coming on out, and then that was a good time. That was for my friends, the Neaters. They own 9 McDonald's in Iredell County. So, and yeah, that was a good time there, Hamburglar. And it kind of goes along with I always told them I wanted to do bring the hamburger back by making him a pirate hamburger. Arr! You know, like my part in the play I call Captain Jack. Like Captain Jack Sparrow, but it's actually, that's another story. We'll get into that because we got the Tom Dooley project going on, coming up in a couple of months. So we need, Tom, you need you to come down here and go to the Tom Dooley project. You get to see me and my acting abilities somewhat. Okay, back to this story. So I just got done finishing up building Daytona engines. Well, we're still working on the Xfinity stuff. We're still working on plate trailer spares. But the Daytona race engines are done, and I believe we're ready to go with them. So we got work through, like I said, we worked hard through the whole winter and got all the stuff ready to go. So we should be, once again, not going to jinx it, but hey, we should have won last year, if y'all don't remember that, when the old Almirola got 3-card, which was crap. But anyway, we didn't. And that's racing, I guess. All right, so here we go. Yeah, Tom, you need one of these. We're about to get new ones though, I believe. Um, this is our Friday shirts, so we get to do where we get to kind of go casual on Fridays. Usually we got our blue shirts on. All right, let me see what we got going on for if anybody has any questions. I see Rachel and Linda and Tom. Uh, let's see. How about all-time driver? How about, oh yeah, my all-time favorite driver and team are while we're getting into the Hall of Fame, along with Jack Roush. I believe it's about time. Yes, good deal, Tom. Got the new hoodie. Yeah, it's about time. I mean, so Rachel, I don't know. I know we talked about me going Friday. I'm not completely sure I'm going to go. I kind of do want to go, but I'm just going to have to wait and see. I know we got one of my favorite bands coming in, Red Dirt Revival, coming into the studio Friday, and they'll be on. Have them on the radio from 4 to 6, which will still give me time to get down there. But then Saturday, I actually have a big day because I have a polar plunge to go to. And I have, for Special Olympics of Iredell County, we're actually going to go and polar plunge down the diving board or sliding board into the water, and it's going to be 38 degrees Saturday from what last I heard. And then after that, we have to hit the road to Lake Lure for a battle of the bands. We're actually me and the Chillbillies. If y'all don't know the Chillbillies, look them up on Facebook. WAME Chillbillies. We are we mascots for the radio station basically, and we are going to be. Hey, Brandon McCorkle, my cousin. Anyway, we're going to be judging the competition for the Battle of the Bands, and there's going to be a bunch of cool music there. And they asked us to come and to be the judges all the way out at Lake Lure. So after we do the polar plunge, we're going to take off and go out there. So that being said, Saturday's going to be a pretty busy day for me. And then Sunday I already got some work lined up to do. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'll get with you on that, Rachel, about going. So, of course, my work bought everybody tickets to go down to the Hall of Fame, which is really cool. You know, because Jack Roush is going in and Davey Allison. So, yeah, that would be a really cool event to see. All right, so, and I don't know who else. Y'all, somebody tell me who else is going in. Davey Allison, Jack Roush, who else? That'll be a good quiz question for you. So put the answer on here and then I'll answer it in just a minute. Yeah, and so let's see here. We got, yeah, I do too, Rachel. I hope I can make it. My cousin, Brandon says, hey, cousin, do you travel with the teams throughout the season as well? Dad and I live about 15 minutes from Bristol. I do not, but sometimes I want to go to the track. This is what I want to do. And me and Tom have been talking about this. I want to go and actually camp out at the racetrack sometime. I've talked about it with Beer Man also, because he's got a camper. I got a camper, believe it or not. It used to belong to Mike Hilton, a NASCAR president. And then after that, it was Robert Yates' camper. So it's a big tow behind. It's a 39-foot. I don't really want to take that to the racetrack. I about need a big semi truck to pull that thing. And but anyway, back to your question. I don't go anymore, but I am talking about going to Bristol. Okay, so Davey Allison, Jack Roush, Jeff Gordon, Roger Penske, and Alan Kulwicki. That's right. Roger Penske was in there too, and Alan Kulwicki, and Jeff Gordon. Yep, those are all. I think those are pretty good choices. They're all good people, and so, you know what I'd like to do on one of my segments, I would like to go into the history of NASCAR. You know, certain people like Alan Kulwicki, I remember when he died. Of course, Davey Allison, I remember when he died. Tim Richmond is another one I want to cover and just kind of go over a little biography of their life and, you know, how they got started in NASCAR, what they meant for NASCAR. You know, they were all a different character on their own. I remember Alan Kulwicki was like a mechanical engineer and was from Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken. And he come in and he did it his way. That was when he won the championship. The song that they played all the time was "I Did It My Way." Anyway, I remember that very well. And then when let's see, when Dale Jarrett won in '99, it was "We Are the Champions." You know, I just wish Davey would have been around longer to see where he would have went, because he was one of the greats. I remember going to, I believe it was 1989, whatever the last daytime Winston was. I used to go, or All Star race. I used to go every year to those races. It was a Winston. Then it turned into one hot night when they started running them at night. But Davey Allison led like every lap of that race, and it was kind of a dreary, rainy day. I've talked to Doug and Jeff Clark about it, and of course they remember it well. But anyway, those were good times. So Terry's asking me if I don't have any memories of Glenwood. Well, Terry, Glenn, okay, Leonard and Lynn, they come around all the time. Leonard doesn't come around as much as he used to, but Glenn didn't really come around. I used to see all them guys at the track, of course, and I meant to have one of my old souvenir programs, but I showed it to Glenn and Lynn and Leonard, and it was them on the cover, and they're changing tires, and I mean they actually brought up, the pit crews back in the day. They come out with these white uniforms, and they had these patches on, because then they had people trying to imitate, saying that they were on pit crews too. So they come out with their own patches for their uniforms, and those guys revolutionized the pit stops. They come out and just started. They knew how to win the races, and they won a lot of races. They won a lot of races with David Pearson, and the thing is, they didn't compete in every race in the season, but I can't remember what the percentage was. But if you go by percentages with David Pearson, percentage-wise, won more races than Richard Petty, as far as the amount of races he entered versus the amount of races he won. It wasn't much more, but the percentage was higher for David Pearson. And then a lot of that goes to, of course, the Wood Brothers Racing and their team. I think it means a lot when you have a family like that, a family-run, family-owned team, and the whole family's involved in it. I mean, you're working, you're spending time with your family. Really, what more could you ask for? And that's, that helped them, I believe, to do a good job. And they're very smart people. So as far as being around Glenn personally, very few times. I was around Leonard and Lynn a lot more. But, of course, I grieve for his loss. I feel, bad for the family for their loss. I'm sure they'll miss him. He's gone to a better place. So, and then someday, the way I see it, all these people that leave before us, we'll see them again at a better time in a better place. And so we also lost J.D. Gibbs this year. And J.D. Gibbs just a couple weeks ago, or a week ago. And, my memories of him, we were playing softball against the Gibbs team back in the day. I guess it was around 97 or 98. I actually have a picture here. I got it from Beer Man, and it's got me, Beer Man, it's got J.D. Gibbs, and it's got Matt Kenseth when he was just getting into the Cup Series, Claire B. Lang, and Larry McReynolds. It's got all of us in there because we played softball. We had two Coors teams. We had a Coors Original and a Coors Light, and we played against Joe Gibbs. We played against Hendricks. All the teams back in the day, we all had a team, and we played down in Huntersville. We played a benefit game. So J.D. Gibbs was there, and that was the first time I ever met him. Just a healthy guy. I believe he wasn't long out of coming out of college playing football. So that was a shame that happened. Such a good guy that had so much potential and had many years ahead of him. We would have hoped. So let's see. So Tom Robinson says, Brandon, if he meets up with us at Bristol this April, will you be at Farmer Bob's campgrounds? I'm sure you know where that is. Yeah, that would be cool, man, to meet up with my distant cousin there at the campground at Bristol. So, yeah, one of these days. All right, so okay, somebody asks, do you agree NASCAR would be better if it didn't suck? Sure. Anyway, anybody else got any other questions? And as far as that question goes, I mean, maybe you're just asking it to mean the way that it's changed over the years. I know NASCAR, it changed a lot after '99, after Earnhardt passed away. So, I do realize that a lot of fans pretty much decided they weren't going to watch it anymore. And then you had Brian France Jr. take over, and things didn't seem, to work as good as it. But you know what? Part of that was the economy. Economy took a dive. People couldn't afford to go to the racetracks. It was easier to stay home and watch them on TV. There's probably a lot of marketing errors in there too, and there's just a lot to it. It's coming back though. I do believe that NASCAR's coming back. It's getting stronger. But it takes all the fans pulling together. It takes all the fans promoting it basically. So if you got fans that say, I love watching this. Check out this driver. You got to get on TV and you got to watch this driver. You got to go to a race, because everybody that I've ever talked to, all it took was them going to a race, and once they went to a race, they were hooked. But the people that I talk to that say, I don't care anything about NASCAR, now I would say 90% of them have never been to a race. If they did go, maybe they had a bad experience, but 90% have never been. So Rachel says, what expectations do you have for 2019? Well, I did see a poll. I guess it was a poll. I'm not sure who took it. I think either, let's see, maybe it was, who posted that? It was on one of the Penske page. I think maybe Rachel said this, and they said that the expectations were for Joey Logano. This is for the Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, or Brad Keselowski to win the Daytona 500. And I said those are pretty good choices. But as far as my expectations for 2019, I expect to come out running strong. I expect to, I think we'll have a really good year. Maybe it won't be as good as last year, because I think over time, just from knowing my history in NASCAR always tends to try to even the field out. So if you're dominating, if you're showing too much dominance, which we tended to do a little bit this year. I said too much. I didn't mean too much, but I think that in NASCAR's eyes, and then the way the other teams will complain about it, they may come out and say, we need to cut y'all back a little bit and somehow. But we'll see. I mean, I think we have the strongest chance of coming out and kicking some butt, because like I said, we've always been strong when it comes to restrictor plates, and we've been working really hard. And you can't replace the working hard. And it's not just working hard; it's working smart. You could put in all the hours in a day. You could sit around and chit chat and say, "I worked hard. I spent all this time," but it's working smart. And I'll tell you, somebody that's smart, Doug Yates, smart man, and he's so smart. He hires the right people to do the jobs, because he can't be everywhere at one time. And I'll tell you, a lot of his smartness came from his dad. You know what? It's in his genes. His dad was a brilliant man. Everybody knows that. Everybody's heard of Robert Yates. Everybody knows how back in the day, Robert Yates was the man to beat. We couldn't beat him. I was building it Chevrolet engines, and the Fords were kicking everybody's butt. And some of our drivers were like, man, we were on the straightaway, and that Ford blew right by us. We couldn't catch up with them. So guess what we're still doing? I switched over to Ford. At the time, I didn't think I'd ever do it. But hey, I'm so glad I did. 15 years strong right now. And hey to Alex, Terry Quinn, Alec. A-L-U-C, kind of like Dracula backwards. That's the way he spells it. But anyway, thank you. Thank y'all so much for watching. And if you got any more questions, throw them on there right quick. If I don't get to them, come on and put them on into the comments after. But don't forget to hit that like button, because you hit the likes, and then YouTube puts this video out to more people because they see people like it, and more people will see this, and more people will join in with us next time, and they'll ask questions and interact with us. We'll make some more race fans. We'll make some more race friends. And then, maybe next time we'll have Bigger Man back. I doubt it. I'm just going to plan on doing this every Monday night from here on through NASCAR season. And in a couple of weeks, I'll actually be back on the radio discussing it on Thursday nights. So what I need to do is figure out a way to get information to y'all to let you know that I'm going to be on Thursday nights. So y'all can tune in on Facebook Live and see me right there live on the radio talking about NASCAR. And of course, I'll mention you guys. Let's see. I saw a question about, and thank you, Terry. She said, "Great show, David. Did I meet Alan Kwiecki? He showed the American dream could be done." I did not meet him, but he won the championship in a time. I've watched NASCAR my whole life, ever since far back as I remember, to like 6 years old. Tom says, "I forgive you, Dave, for being with Team Chevy." And Paul says, "I don't believe hold a team back. The other teams need to go to work." Yes. So anyway, I was a huge race fan, and I remember when Alan Kwiecki won, and that was just a couple of years, maybe 3 years before I got into NASCAR. My first experience with a NASCAR team was with Stanton Barrett out at Concord Speedway in north of Charlotte, north of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And he was driving a Wendy's car, and I got to go out there and help him do some pit crew stuff and help work on the engine a little bit. I was in college at the time, so that was around 1990. Dale Jr. was there, Jack Sprague. There was a lot of different people there, and I remember the guys, but anyway, that was a long time ago. So this is my 25th season in NASCAR as started out as a machinist. Now I'm an engine builder. I've kind of flip-flopped back and forth to doing both. So 25 years strong. It's been a pretty cool ride. 7 years as a jackman, pit setup, and all that kind of stuff. Pit practicing every day, working out 4 days a week. I mean, it was a. And so, do I remember Robert Yates building Petty engines? I remember he built the last engine for Richard Petty when he won his 200. And I know Rachel's probably seen this down at the Hall of Fame. The display they have of Robert Yates racing down there, and I put a video. Oh, I put a video on here. There's a video on here of that display down at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So go on there and check it out. But don't forget to click like and subscribe. And thank you, Rachel. 25 years lifetime dedication to NASCAR. Yeah, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and then tune in for the next time. Hit the bell notifications. And after this video is over, you can go on and comment. Ask me any questions you want to, and I'll certainly get them back. I get notifications on my phone. So that's about it. Y'all have a good night, and thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next Monday night at 7:30. If you want to go ahead and put a new question on, go ahead and put it on there now in the comments. As soon as I close the video, I'll put it on there. All right. Thanks, y'all.